In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on December 12, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Toronto Raptors versus Miami Heat. The Toronto Raptors will face off against the Miami Heat on Thursday night in what promises to be an intriguing Eastern Conference clash. The Raptors enter this game on a disappointing note, having suffered 3 consecutive losses as they head into Miami. In contrast, the Heat are on an upswing, enjoying a 3-game winning streak as they continue to get healthier and build momentum. In terms of roster updates, the Raptors remain severely shorthanded, with key players such as Emmanuel Quickley, Scotty Barnes, and Bruce Brown sidelined due to injuries. On the other hand, the Heat are closely monitoring Pelle Larsson, who is currently listed as doubtful for this matchup. Despite their improving health, the Miami Heat's track record indicates they should be considered strong favorites against a struggling Raptors squad that has been plagued by both poor form and injuries. Barnes' recent setback only adds to Toronto's woes. However, it's worth noting that Miami has developed a reputation for underperforming against weaker opponents, as evidenced by their 3-8-1 record against the spread in their last 12 games as double-digit favorites. Additionally, the team has faced off-court distractions, with recent trade rumors involving Jimmy Butler further complicating matters. Although the Raptors were competitive in their narrow loss to the New York Knicks on Monday, their overall performance remains underwhelming, especially when compared to the Heat, who recently secured a solid victory against the Cleveland Cavaliers to extend their winning streak to 3 games. Given Miami's strong form and home court advantage, they are expected to win this game. However, the Raptors have shown enough fight in recent games to potentially keep this contest close, likely within single digits. As a result, the Toronto Raptors to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both teams occupy a middle-tier position in the NBA in terms of scoring offenses. Notably, the over has hit in both of their prior matchups this season, with the 2 teams averaging a combined 233.5 points per game in those contests. While Miami ranks 27th in possessions per game, they have recently improved as a more consistent shooting team. Toronto, in contrast, ranks 5th in possessions per game, which helps compensate for their offensive inefficiencies. Although the Raptors will be without one of their leading scorers in this matchup, Miami's defensive style might still allow Toronto enough opportunities to contribute on the scoreboard. The Raptors have managed to score 118 points or more in 4 of their last 8 games, while Miami has surpassed the 120-point mark in 5 of their last 9 outings. In their 2 previous meetings this season, the Heat averaged 118.5 points against the Raptors. With these trends in mind, the over has hit in 25 games between these teams this season and is a perfect 4-0 in their last 4 matchups. The Raptors' style of play is marked by a fast but occasionally reckless approach. They rank 12th in the NBA in pace of play, but also 25th in turnovers, a combination that could lead to easy scoring opportunities for a Miami team currently firing on all cylinders offensively. The Heat have been particularly potent in recent games, ranking 5th in the NBA over the past week with an average of nearly 126 points per game. Given these factors, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Detroit Pistons versus Boston Celtics. Detroit travels to Boston for an Eastern Conference clash on Thursday, December 12th. The Pistons enter the game with a 10-15 record this season, having lost 4 of their last 6 contests. Meanwhile, the Boston Celtics boast a 19-5 overall record and sit just 1.5 games behind the Eastern Conference lead. Boston recently endured a narrow loss to Memphis but has been in strong form, winning 10 of their last 12 games. Detroit approaches this matchup with a full roster, while Boston continues to monitor the status of Jaden Springer, Jordan Walsh, and Jason Tatum, all of whom are listed as questionable. The Pistons have been competitive of late, highlighted by a win against the New York Knicks on Saturday. They come into this game well-rested, having not played since that victory. The Celtics have consistently won games but have struggled to cover larger point spreads, achieving this in in just 2 of their last 10 games. Defensively, Detroit has been solid, allowing 113 points per 100 possessions compared to Boston's 111 points per 100. Offensively, the Celtics have averaged 116 points over their last 5 games, while the Pistons are close behind, scoring 115 points per game during the same span. Notably, Detroit has covered the spread in both matchups against Boston this season. Although Boston has secured 2 victories over Detroit earlier in the season, the Pistons have managed to cover the spread on both occasions. This trend is likely to continue on Thursday as Boston faces mounting injuries and holds a 4-9 record against the spread at home. Additionally, Boston's once dominant three-point shooting has faltered in recent games, exemplified by their struggles against Memphis. While the Celtics are capable of a blowout victory, their inflated lines are concerning, with a 2-8 record against the spread over their last 10 games and a 9-15 mark for the season. When favored by double digits, they are just 5-10 against the spread in their last 15 games. With Cade Cunningham emerging as a star, the Detroit Pistons to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Detroit has demonstrated an ability to score against Boston, putting up 118 and 120 points in their 2 prior meetings this season. Their offensive momentum continued on Sunday when they posted 120 points against a strong Knicks defense. On the other side, Boston relies heavily on three-point shooting, attempting an NBA-leading 52 threes per game. They are likely to find success against a Pistons defense ranked 28th in three-point defense. Boston scored 124 and 130 points in their earlier encounters with Detroit, further showcasing their offensive potential. The trend towards high-scoring games is strong, with the over hitting in 5 of Detroit's last 6 games. Similarly, Boston has seen the over prevail in 8 of their 13 home games this season. Both teams rank 16th in pace, suggesting a game with plenty of scoring opportunities. Given Detroit's recent offensive surge and Boston's three-point shooting, this matchup is poised for a high-scoring affair. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Sacramento Kings versus New Orleans Pelicans. A Western Conference showdown is set to unfold on Thursday night as the Sacramento Kings face off against the New Orleans Pelicans. This marks the first of 4 meetings between these 2 teams in the current season. The Kings enter the game riding high after a commanding home victory against the Utah Jazz, where they secured a 141-97 win and covered the spread as 10.5-point favorites. On the other hand, the Pelicans are coming off a narrow road loss to the San Antonio Spurs, falling 121-116, but managing to cover the spread as 6.5-point underdogs. Injury concerns loom over both teams, with the Kings still missing Trey Lyles, while the Pelicans are significantly short-handed, lacking key players such as Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Jordan Hawkins, and Daniel Theis. Sacramento has been firing on all cylinders offensively, amassing nearly 300 points in their last 2 outings. Conversely, New Orleans has struggled defensively, giving up an alarming 55 points in the paint per game. The Kings have also benefited from strong performances by their role players, enhancing their already potent perimeter attack. The New Orleans Pelicans remain one of the league's biggest disappointments this season, sitting at 5-20 straight up and 9-16 against the spread. The mounting injuries have compounded their struggles, and there's little urgency among their sideline stars to return to action. Meanwhile, the Sacramento Kings, despite underperforming earlier this season, are showing signs of resurgence. They boast a 3-1 record straight up and against the spread in their last 4 games and have the potential to continue improving as the season progresses. While the Kings have experienced their fair share of challenges this season, they appear to be turning the corner with 3 wins in their last 4 games. They enter this matchup as clear favorites, especially against a Pelicans team mired in a prolonged slump, dealing with an array of injuries, and now facing additional distractions after a Sunday altercation. If the Kings aim to solidify their momentum, these are the types of games they must capitalize on. The betting line remains reasonable, making Sacramento a strong pick to win and cover the spread in this contest. With the Pelicans losing by an average margin of 12 points, the Sacramento Kings to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Defense is not the strong suit for either team, and the Kings' recent offensive surge has been nothing short of remarkable, with a combined 281 points scored in their last 2 games. Sacramento lit up the scoreboard with 140 points against the Spurs and 141 against the Jazz, and the Pelicans' defensive capabilities are comparably limited. The Kings are expected to maintain this scoring prowess, with De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, and DeMar DeRozan leading the charge. Supporting threats like Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter perimeter provide additional firepower on the perimeter. However, Sacramento's defensive shortcomings, including Sabonis's lack of rim protection, have resulted in 4 of their last 5 games exceeding the total points line. Although New Orleans remains without Ingram and Zion, the return of other key contributors has bolstered their offensive production. In their most recent game, all 5 starters scored in double figures, signaling an improving offensive rhythm. This trend aligns with their recent games, which have all gone over the projected total. While Sacramento's offense continues to excel, their defensive vulnerabilities, particularly in guarding the perimeter, leave room for New Orleans to capitalize, especially with their strong rebounding creating second-chance opportunities. Poor ball control by the Pelicans may stall some possessions, but their weak transition defense could lead to quick points for the Kings. Ultimately, these factors suggest the total score will surpass the set number, making over the projected total our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.